I see mansions in the kingdom. I see hunger slaying demons. I see fire on this earth coming down like Hiroshima. I see prophets rising up, prophesying scriptures cut. I see Christ, he coming back. Man, he black, he look like us. I see it, 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 I see it.
We are not a hate group. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
Hey, shalom, y'all. Hey, welcome to another edition of Precept Upon Precept, the late show on Thursday. Get right to the point. We are your hosts. My name is Captain Shem.
Officer Matthew.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Micah.
All praise, all praise. Hey, last week we went right through. We just kind of did a beeline show. Today we're back to our format. We're going to get more regimented. We have a hot show again tonight. It's Brics versus the West, part 2. But we're going to go right to our first segment of the show with our very own Officer Micah with the Watchman Report. Take it away.
To the articles. The former Russian arms dealer, known as the Merchant of Death, who the U.S. exchanged for Brittany Griner, is back in Russia and now learning to use a smartphone. So I guess he's going to Google how to do arms deals now. All that for a sister that thinks she a brother. Lord help us. North Korea's Kim arrives in eastern Russia City for expected visit to fighter jet plant. So, yeah, hey, they ain't playing. That's it. Rocket Man getting them jets ready. Federal judge again declares that DACA is illegal, with issues likely to be decided by Supreme Court. So in case y'all don't know, go and read this. Let's just talk about our people who are coming over here to America and they trying to do some things, but they denied deporting them back. So, hey, I'll check this out. Death toll soars to 11,300 from flooding in Libyan coastal city of Derna. Most High, he getting them over there. He is tearing them up. And this concludes the Watchman Report.
Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. We're going to be quick to the point. Let's pull up the thumbnail like we always do. We have a thought-provoking thumbnail that our Officer Mikael creates to kind of set the stage for the show.
So again, we have the Brics versus the West. So as you can see, we have the United States flag in the background because that represents the West. Anytime anybody thinks about the Western Hemisphere or Western civilization, we think about the United States. And BRICS, as you know, is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa all coming together to form an economic power that can rival the United States.
Hey, and it's funny because when you think about the acronym BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, remember they have 6 new nations that have been invited that will start January 1st of 2024. So I wonder if they're going to be like the LGBTQ and continue on with the acronym. So there'll be 11 letters. I don't know if we're going to do that or if they're just going to do BRICS.
Do a plus. So
right.
BRICS plus.
So it's going to be, because there's going to need a lot of letters, because tonight you're going to see we're going to go into this pretty heavy. So let's start first right away with number 6. We're going to keep it moving tonight, y'all. Number 6 is a YouTube short, and it says, "What is America's biggest threat?"
The potential alliance between China and Russia the worst thing for the United States. China is largely dependent on the Strait of Malacca, which it relies on
real
for...
quick. So, the Officer Matthews said something. Officer Mikhail said something. He said, when you think about the West, you don't think about Mexico or Canada or Greenland. You think about the United States of America. So, America is the West in this, and they show you the Western Hemisphere. This should be on the news. This should be in every single American education history class. There's a strait called the Strait of Malacca. We're going to read about it. We're going to read some articles and do some video. This is probably the most important strait in this whole hemisphere because it controls, you can see right there, the trade route. Because you know, when you look at the map, right, you've got the Pacific Ocean, and then you got the Indian Ocean. And it's not a nice, clear pathway. Like you could go across the Atlantic Ocean with just, it's wide open, right? There is a whole bunch of islands, Indonesia and other islands, that in order to go the fastest, most direct route, you have to go through certain narrow straits. Not straight like as it's straight, but straight as in as narrow water path. So anyways, play on.
70% of its oil imports, and Russia would be ready and able to sell that same oil to China. China has also been struggling with its lack of water, as it only possesses 7% of the world's freshwater reserves and 20% of the world's population. Russia would also be able to supply China with water, as it possesses 20% of the world's water reserves. China would also be able to help Russia because by paying for all of these resources, they would consequently help finance the war in Ukraine and therefore expand Russian influence in Europe.
Real quick. Later on, we're gonna in our CPA. This a woman is a CPA, a certified public accountant. We like to go reference her. She mentions that the two forces in BRICS that want to do the most expansion are China and Russia. I wonder why. Let's play the whole video again. There's a reason why he tells you right here.
The potential alliance between China and Russia the worst thing for the United States. China is largely dependent on the Strait of Malacca, which it relies on for over 70% of its oil imports, and Russia would be ready and able to sell that same oil to China. China has also been struggling with its lack of water, as it only possesses 7% of the world's freshwater reserves and 20% of the world's population. Russia would also be able to supply China with water, as it possesses 20% of the world's water reserves. China would also be able to help Russia because by paying for all of these resources, they would consequently help finance the war in Ukraine and therefore expand Russian influence in Europe. Why is a...
So we're going to start there. Now go to number 6. This is the, I don't know if she's Lithuanian. She's one of them Edomites, but she's a different type of Edomite. It's not the same Caucasian. It's a little twist on it. So it's number 5. It says Brics and OPEC. Number 5, excuse me. And we're gonna play. It's like an 8-minute video. We're gonna play a lot of it, and I'm gonna come back to this at multiple points. So we need to keep this in the queue, please. We're gonna let it play the first 4 minutes.
Hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. So BRICS expansion announced on August the 24th sent shockwaves across the world. The main reason being the 6 new countries that combined...
Pause real quick. Last week, this is a review of last week. That's what we covered last week. There was a BRICS Summit 2023 in South Africa. Huge controversy built up. They were going to arrest Vladimir Putin if he showed up and touched down on the actual the land. All right. Now, this lady is a certified public accountant. She's a financial advisor. She looks at the market and how BRICS is going to affect the world market, the economy of the world. So she's reviewing what we kind of taught, well, pretty most part taught last week. Play on.
Transform the BRICS bloc into a partnership that those who have grown accustomed to being in a position of power now have to take seriously. BRICS bloc just admitted Argentina, Egypt, Iran, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Ethiopia. there were 42 countries that officially expressed interest in joining. So why were they rejected and only these 6 states chosen? In this video, I want to share with you the main reasons why the leaders of the Global South made this decision.
Okay, real quick. So last week we talked about the geography. So she's going to review this because the 3 countries, Ethiopia and Egypt, which are in Africa. One is in South America, which is Argentina, the second largest country in South America. And then the other 3 were Saudi Arabia and Iran and the United Arab Emirates, 3 in the Arabian Peninsula, huge oil producers. So she's going to go into it. Hopefully y'all saw last week. If not, this is a review. She's going to go into it. Why did Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, why did they choose these 6 and not the other 36 countries? Because 42 applied, right? So now, long-winded enough, play on.
Each one of these 6 countries is truly significant in their geographic regions. Historically, the 2 countries that were in favor of more of an aggressive expansion of the bloc were Russia and China. Brazil and India, on the other hand, didn't want to see rapid growth.
Pause real quick. And that's why we showed the video first, because Russia and China are the ones that, if they had it their way, they'd have all 42 countries come on board, right? And the reason why is because China has a problem because of trade routes and a lack of water. Russia has a problem because it is being embargoed and sanctioned by the U.S. and its allies and is fighting a war on its eastern front. So China and Russia want the global expansion much quicker than the other 3, South Africa, India, and Brazil. So keep that in mind as we go on in the show. Play on.
BRICS was officially formed in 2009. A year later, in 2010, South Africa was admitted as the bloc's 5th member country. And then until 2023, the bloc existed as is for a decade. But of course, we know that things aren't the same as they used to be. It's safe to assume that these new 6 countries are just the first wave, and it is probably safe to say that there's more to come soon. But first, I want to ask you to consider subscribing to my channel on YouTube and Rumble. I have to say I would love it if you joined me on Rumble, as I will be uploading a variety of new content there soon.
Okay, pause. We have to get through this because, again, she just reviewed what we covered last week. Now she's going to go into why the 6 were strategically chosen. And then we're going to go to another video that there's 3 other countries that I don't know if it's a journalist or a report mentions that should be the next 3, right? And that's really the point of this show is one of these waterways, one of these straits is incredibly important. It's like the Panama Canal of this side of the earth, all right, of the eastern side of the earth. Play on.
January the 1st of 2024, the BRICS bloc will be home to nearly half, 46% to be exact, of the world's population. Its share of global oil production will be more than doubled at that point, 43%.
Go back to what she just said. Starting January 1st, 2024.
46% to be exact of the world's population.
So I can hear her say something?
Hey, go back. Officer Matt saw something because we reviewed this last week, but the reason why I like it, yes, she's got a little mouse voice, but she is a CPA. She's not like one of these CPAs you're going to have over here. They go to college with it, they go drink, and they go party on Thursday nights. And she was probably from a girl was taught accounting, and now this is her life. She wants to make sure we understand from the economics. So she's breaking down all the numbers and math. You caught something.
Yeah, it's important. Go ahead, play it.
Effective January the 1st of 2024, the BRICS bloc will be home to nearly half, 46% to be exact, of the world's population.
Stop. Come January 2024, BRICS is going to be home to 46% of the world's population. 46% of the world's population is going to be a part of BRICS. When it
That's only 11 countries.
exactly.
That's about what, 3.8 billion people?
Yeah. Because India and China both have 2 billion. China has 1 billion, India has 1 billion. India, if they haven't already, they're on track to pass China as the world's
That's
most
a fact.
popular country.
Actually, they both have. I looked it up a couple weeks ago. India's right behind China. China has nearly 2 billion, and India's like 1. Let's look it up because I don't like saying stuff that. Look up the population of India. And why this is so important is because India and China do have together damn near half of the world's population just in those two countries.
Yep.
We're only 11 countries into it. That's
Yep.
assuming they accept the invitation in 2024. There's another 36 countries that wanted to get in.
Yep.
BRICS is like, no, we only want to go with 6. We read a video before. Russia, say again?
Who has 1.3?
1.3 billion? That's not accurate. That's not true. That's
How much
that's
does
an
China
old
have?
statistic. I have to look it up now. That's not true. Where is that? Okay. All right. Well,
How much is China? Population of China.
Click right below it. Go back. Pull it back up. Click that. Go scroll up.
okay.
Right there. China
I stand
population.
corrected. I'm wrong.
1.4 billion. Okay. So China has 1.4 billion. India has 1.3 billion.
Right.
Now go back to the video. Not only do they have 46%, nearly exactly half of the world's population, but watch what she says next.
Its share of global oil production will be more than doubled at that point.
Stop.
43.
Its shared oil production will be more than doubled by January. Meaning that's a threat to the petrodollar.
That's right.
That's a control of a resource that the United States has fought long and hard to keep.
Since 1970, early 70s. And look, if you look at the graph, it's color coded because I did it so fast I didn't really look at it. If you look at the colors, so when you look at the population, if you see how the green, it went up. It was about 35%, so it went up, right? But look at the orange. As of 2024, in a couple of months, look at the orange or whatever color it is, how it jumps, and look at the green. Look at the green. So as you at home look at that, the population, before they took on the other 6 countries, they had a huge amount, right? Because if you see 17.7% is China, 17.8% is India. So huge population already. But the oil production is more than doubled. That is huge because later on, we're going to find out that there is a couple other countries that are not part of the 6 that were invited that are huge in oil, and they're some of the next ones to come on board. So that number is going to go a lot higher than 43%. So this is huge. You know,
But they got their GDP is going to increase by 29%. That is a lot. And their exports are going to increase by 25%. Business-wise, that is phenomenal numbers when it comes to economics.
When you look at the oil production, right? I filled up today truck diesel, roughly half a tank. It was $61. Diesel's at $4.13 already. Ain't nobody that America ain't really saying much, but Americans gonna start feeling the pain at the pump again.
Hey y'all, listen, and I'm gonna keep it moving. So go back to the number 5, and we're gonna let this play a little bit longer. I think we're already here then. Excuse me.
When you look at the top, let's say top 10 oil producers in the world,
Here's the point. So to Officer Micah's point, Officer Matthews' point. Remember what did Kissinger say? Remember last week, Henry Kissinger said, if you control resource, I think he said oil.
Yeah, oil.
You control countries and you control people. This is why the U.S. starts wars, sends in jackals, destabilize governments. It's not because they're there for the beaches. They want the resources. And the number one resource that controls the commodities market is oil. Why? Because you get diesel. Most farm equipment and heavy-duty machinery is not run off of doggone gasoline. It's run off of diesel. Most military equipment is run off of diesel. So you need crude oil to make diesel, down to your Vaseline jelly that they put in hair products. Also the gasoline for the rest of your civilian vehicles and your passenger vehicles, and your ships and your planes and your trains, all of that, and also agricultural markets get shut down without fuel, because the commercial markets that they created through these farmlands, no longer do you have these nice small community gardens that they can have 10 farms in a small area and they can trade. Now, like we did shows in the past, how they would buy up all the farmland, like Dole and United Fruit Company, buy up all the farmland and then have them work on the land. So now you're dependent on these large agricultural farms that use these huge John Deere tractors that use a truckload of diesel. You got, Mikhail, you about to say something?
No, I was just I had a question about jet fuel. Jet fuel is also made from purified diesel. Is that correct?
All fuels, it's all fuels are made. Actually, do me a favor. I don't want to say something. Look that up. It's either it's from. Yeah. So you have. Look that up. I don't want to give a wrong answer. I don't like doing that. Go back, play on. We're going to get that answer. Mikhail asked the question because we all should be asking that question. Because if you stop the transportation of jets and planes, or if it becomes so expensive to fly, you can cripple what? Tourism. Tourism
already took a hit during COVID. So imagine if the oil gets affected.
That's why oil is, and you're going to find this lady, Prevost, the lady that just we're watching now. While I was doing some research earlier today, she has another video that just came up. I didn't get time. It's called. It goes into the supply and demand of oil. She just put it out this tonight. All right. Go ahead, Mikhail. You was about to say something.
No, I was pointing out that if jet fuel is made out of diesel and they control the diesel, then you also cripple militaries. Who has the number one Air Force in the world? That would be the United States.
That's right. That's right. So now she's going to go into the 10 most highest production nations that produce oil. And what you're going to find is that many of them, the majority of them, are already in the Brics, the new 11 expansion. And the other ones are countries that are waiting. Can we come in now? I'm telling you, this is going to all lead up to World War III. U.S. is not going to have it. The prophecies say that, listen, they're all going to go against America, but it's going to take some time. This is what it's going to take, okay, to go against the West, i.e. United States of America. Play on, excuse me.
It's Saudi Arabia, Russia,
Wait,
Canada.
Is this, I think this is oil consumed. Is it oil consumed or oil produced? I don't know that part.
Let's say top 10 oil producers in the world.
Okay, so let's clarify. The top 10 oil producers in the world. And that doesn't mean that the crude oil comes from the ground of the United States. What it means is they have these things like Valero, Shell, these refineries. So the U.S. can get the crude oil shipped in, but they produce it, right? So rewind a moment. This is very important that we understand this.
Global oil production will be more than doubled at that point, 43%. When you look at the top, let's say top 10 oil producers in the world, they are the United States, Saudi Arabia, Russia, Canada, China, Iraq, the UAE, Brazil.
So let's pause right now. One of you brothers can handle this, because please let's dive in. I mean, this is beautiful.
Saudi Arabia wants to join BRICS. Russia is BRICS. Canada is with America, so that's 25. China is with BRICS. Iraq is going to link up with BRICS. The UAE is going to link up with BRICS. Brazil is BRICS. Iran is BRICS, and Kuwait is BRICS.
So let me hear a wise saying and add to it. It's even deeper than that. The U.S. Okay, fine. Canada is with them. Saudi Arabia is with BRICS now because they were invited in. That's right. Then you have China is in BRICS. Iraq, just exactly as Officer Matthews said, they're right in between, right? And I would even venture to add Kuwait in that because Kuwait, now that the U.S. left Kuwait, okay, and the Arab Peninsula is uniting, Iran and Iraq through the auspices of China has diplomacy opened back up because they have what they call the embassies reopened. So out of this list, you're going to have, right now you have 1, Saudi Arabia, 2, Russia, 3, China, 4, the UAE, they've been invited, 5 is Brazil, 6 is right there is Iran. 6 are already part of the expansion of the 11, 6 of them, right? Kuwait and Iraq, like Officer Matthews said, they're soon to follow. That's 8. So other than the U.S. and Canada, guess what? All of them are going to be within BRICS within the next couple of years.
8 out of 10 top 10 oil exporters is going to be in BRICS.
And you know, they did not put Argentina up there. I don't know what Argentina
We're going to get
ranks.
into that. That's
Well,
heavy.
Argentina is also a part of BRICS now.
So, and I'm going to tell you something. What you just said, Mikhail, is heavy because that and something you said 2 shows ago is another country you mentioned is Venezuela.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to get into Venezuela and Argentina tonight, right now. And what's going on right now, I did some research. There are 2 presidential candidates right now. The U.S. is doing this. They are, right now as we speak, trying to reject the bid and saying if they get elected as president, Argentina will not be part of BRICS. The U.S. is behind all of that. They don't want that to happen. I'm telling you, play on. Damn, play on.
And Kuwait. And this is according to 2022 production data. Now, after the BRICS expansion this year, 6 of these top 10 countries are in the bloc. 6. This is major news. As you can see, the expansion is very much focused on natural resources, specifically on energy. The price of oil determines virtually everything. And
You
so
heard that pause. She said the price of oil determines everything. That's why we talked about, you heard the brothers say, you heard jet fuel, military vehicles, farm equipment, fuel for ships and things of that nature, fuel for home heating oil. These are things that all come out of crude oil. So when you control oil, you control markets, you control nations, and you control people. And BRICS is not stupid. They are controlling geography, they're controlling shipping lanes, and they are controlling the production of oil. It's an economic war. In the 21st century, it's not so much, yes, they can fight still with drones and they do it like they're doing the old style in Ukraine. It's an economic warfare at all levels right now. Now,
Hey, Cal, what's
Yes,
so heavy
sir.
about that is, you know how they say, oh, our jobs are giving you raises to compete with the price of inflation.
yeah, right.
Gas and oil is a major part of one of those factors. It's based off of, they look at the gas prices and the oil prices to show you, okay, well, inflation is going to be this, inflation is going to be that, because oil controls everything.
Right. Hey, you know what, Sebi? One of our tech team, they put a map out, the same thing that this lady had, which is unrelated. They didn't research this. Y'all came up with the same BRICS expansion map. As a matter of fact, pull that up. Yours is even better. Pull that up. No, I threw it out there. It's number 13. So this is great because now we're going to see the current members are going to be orange, right? See, look at the triangle in your upper right-hand corner. Members are Russia, China, India, Brazil, and South Africa. The new members, look at the geographical locations. Remember, we talked about Egypt. Again, we've done many shows on this. The Suez Canal, a man-made that separates Israel from Egypt, from Africa, that is. That connects the Red Sea, which connects to the Indian Ocean, which connects to the Mediterranean Sea. Now that coupled with Saudi Arabia, they can control that water route. You've got Ethiopia, which is right there on the, what they call it, the Horn of Africa. All right. Now, of course, Iran and Saudi Arabia, that's the Persian Gulf. Officer Matthew mentioned Iraq. Look at Kuwait, the little orange dot. Kuwait, point to Kuwait.
Kuwait is right in the middle of Saudi Arabia. There you go, right there. That little dot right there.
So now this is heavy because remember the top 10. I'm throwing a lot of content. The top 10 had Iraq and Kuwait. Now with the Arabians waking up, you got Iraq, and those are the powers. Kuwait and Iraq are going to follow suit. That whole thing is going to be in BRICS. And then we had another article that I didn't have time to put tonight, where China is trying to build a high-speed railway right through Pakistan and Afghanistan to go right to the Middle East. So guess what China's doing? Along with Russia, they're trying to lock down the whole continent of Asia right there to get what? Imagine if they could bring a railway going straight from China through the mountainous terrain. Mike and y'all was there. They got mountains in Afghanistan. Yep. If they build a railway, a high speed to cut down shipping time, or even better yet, a pipeline from China to the near India, right through to the Arabian Peninsula.
Yeah.
You don't understand. We are about to see. This is what's going to cause World War III.
Cap, if I'm not mistaken, that yellow highlight right under Russia,
Kazakhstan.
that's Kazakhstan.
Yes, it is.
Kazakhstan, who, by the way, foiled a coup attempt for their government to get taken over. And they are applied members.
Ooh, hey, I didn't even see that. Look at that. Look at that. Look, y'all got to see this because, and this is why, if y'all get a chance, if you type in, matter of fact, hold on, I'm going to send it right now. Officer Matt, just can you read out the names, if you can, of all the applied members? I don't know if you're able to do that. I'm gonna.
Yeah. I think, if I'm not mistaken, do they have the names on there? Because I don't want to get that other one confused. I think it's Belarus, but I'm not sure. Okay, we do have Indonesia. Those are those islands that are there. You have.
That might be too much because they should have labeled that. I don't know why they didn't label that. So, anyways, real quick, because I gotta keep time tonight. We gotta keep time. So if you go back now, all right, it's too much. But the point is, look at the map one more time. I just want to make a quick, and then I have to move on. I'm gonna have to do a part 3. Okay, so look. So if you look at Okay, Akim, it's cool. Don't worry about it. Look, so if you look at Brazil, right? Argentina right now, I just posted something on Preceptuponprecept Telegram. This same lady, tonight, 2-3 hours ago, she just was doing her research. Argentina was one of the 6 that was admitted. Like Mikhail said last week, Argentina has some of the best natural resources in the whole Western Hemisphere, right? To include production of natural gas. Now watch this. The president of Argentina is getting ready to, I guess, I don't know if it's 4 years or whatever the case may be. The people that are running for president, they're running on the what the hell am I talking about? They're running on the promise that if they get elected, they're not going to allow Argentina to join BRICS. Because the reason why is because now look at South America. The 2 powers in South America are clearly Brazil, followed by Argentina, then followed by Venezuela. And guess what? Venezuela is on the applied for membership.
Cap.
Okay.
Can we zoom in? Can we zoom in towards Honduras? Zoom in.
Yes.
Now.
Cuba. Oh.
Bingo. Cuba has applied. And we already know the United States relationship with Cuba.
Hey, hold up, Matt. You I got to go there. So look, pull up the article. I just got this. It's a YouTube short. It'll be a perfect transition. Russian warship docks in Cuba. I don't know which one it is. Just look for it, please. This is good. This is good. This is beautiful. I didn't even plan. That's beautiful because look, Cuba, 1961, 62, Cuban Missile Crisis. Russia has a long-established relationship with Cuba, and they've been embargoed ever since. Number 2, pull it up. Stay with us, y'all.
A look at this naval ship. It's right over my shoulder. It's a Russian warship here in the harbor in Havana. And what's it doing about 90 miles from the United States? Well, that may have to do with the war in Ukraine, because Cuba is one of the few countries that is increasingly defending Russia's invasion of Ukraine, saying it is NATO's fault.
So just to prove that, now this is not yesterday or last week. This is months ago. However, the point is that Cuba is in support of Russia. And because Russia is part of BRICS, and BRICS is an alternate source for the United States imperialism, neocolonialism. That's what's going on. So now go back to the map we can. I just wanted to show you that there are Russian warships in Cuba. They do go in and out of Cuba. All right, so now, check this out. So we got Brazil already part, Argentina, there's a controversy where they're going to get in. I believe that's Venezuela. Mm-hmm. Okay, Venezuela. We got something in a minute after we go from Bible verses and kingdom music. Venezuela and Argentina are huge producers of natural resources. Here's the thing. Matt said it last week. Officer Matt, excuse me. Once you get Argentina and Brazil and Venezuela, why would anybody else, Uruguay, Paraguay, why would you side when the vast majority is already on board with? They're going to lock the South American continent. They're getting ready to lock down Africa. They're taking the damn world over, economically.
Yes,
please.
Quick, can you look up? It's called, what this is in Israel. I mean, I know it's called. Type in war of attrition.
Yes.
This is what's going on.
That's right.
The definition is war of attrition. Can you get it real quick? Yo, this is exactly what they're doing, and our people thinks that that's because they're not physically punching each other. What they doing? They gathering. Okay, I'm getting people. I'm creating my own currency. I'm creating my own resources, and this is what war of attrition is. What war? Attrition warfare. Okay.
Attrition warfare is a military strategy consisting of belligerent attempts to win a war by wearing down the enemy to the point of collapse through continuous losses in personnel, material, and morale.
That's what BRICS is doing right there.
Material.
Wearing them down. They grabbing their people. They grabbing their material. It's just little, small, subtle things that they doing. Grabbing everybody, and now we got everybody under us. You done weaken them to the point because you taking stuff that they need to survive, and it's going to create a big fight.
Hey, I'm not saying anything, but I was doing some reading in the background about Canada, right? Canada's third largest export is gold. And if BRICS launches their new currency is backed by gold, which is going to cause the U.S. dollar to drop, which Canada's dollar is closely tied to the U.S. dollar, so their dollar is going to drop. But their third largest export is gold, which is what BRICS is going to be backed by. So if it gets to that point and Canada starts to suffer because they're tied to the U.S., what are they going to do?
They ain't going to be so nice. Hey, go back to that map real quick. I got to show y'all. Because I was trying to see who this country was that was underneath Brazil. Go zoom in. I was trying to see who this country was underneath Brazil. That's Bolivia. Mm-hmm. That's Bolivia, who the United States have been putting embargoes on since the 90s when it came to the drug trade.
Yep. There you go. You're right. Look at it. He's 100% correct. Look.
That's Bolivia and Venezuela.
Yes.
You got Venezuela, Brazil, Bolivia, and Argentina.
Hey, so we're just looking at South America right now. We got Brazil, Argentina. This is why I want you to go to number 4. I did send it before. Go to have number 4 in the queue, because right now Argentina was one of the 6 that in South Africa in the summit of 2023 was added. They were all on board. Now all of a sudden, now Argentina might drop out. The U.S. is going to fight this. This is the U.S. sending ops in to cause confusion, pay this dude $400 million. Your family's set for life. I want you to, they pay both of them. Or they'll go in and say, listen, $100 million, I'll kill your family. Hey, that's kind of easy to choose. They will do stuff like that. Now, pull up number 4, please. Real quick, all this is great information, blah, blah, blah. The reality is, what is it going to take down the new Roman Empire, Babylon the Great? It's going to take a mammoth effort like this, where Brics starts to do the war of attrition, like Officer Micah said, and then eventually it's going to get to the point where the EU is going to turn on the U. And when that happens, we better make sure our spirits are right, we get right, because the bomb's going to drop, man. So why are we doing this? You may say, this is so much thinking, and no, but you got to know what the hell's going on around you. 99% of you never heard of the strait that we're going to talk about next after we come back from Kingdom Music. It's one of the most important shipping routes in the doggone planet Earth, and we don't even know about it. We must not be ignorant of any great or small matter. All right. So now, play number 4. Remember, Argentina just got invited in for an official invite. Here goes our CPA lady. All right.
Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. The Brics Summit ended on August.
This was released tonight, a couple hours ago. So this is hot off the press, if you will. Play.
The 24th with a big announcement. 6 new countries received an official invitation.
That's number 4. Hold up, I'm not telling you the wrong. Do the one that says Brics is in jeopardy. Is that number 4? The one that's talking about Argentina being. Yes. Okay. All right. Cool. Play.
To join the bloc: Argentina, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Iran, Egypt, and Ethiopia. The new membership is effective January the 1st, 2024. Well, a couple of days later, we started seeing reports that.
Now hold up. This is why you know it's Babylon the Great. Think about it. All the way up until August, right? They were all on board. In order to apply to get invited, there's a lot of paperwork. So they had to have consensus that they wanted their country to be a part of Brics, right? Not a city in Argentina, the whole country. What now, after you get invited, a couple of days later, now all of a sudden you change your mind? Wake the hell up. Look what's going on. You can go to Walmart, you can get a doggone set of shoelaces, you can buy a cantaloupe and a bag of groceries every day at Walmart. It's super cheap. We have it so comfortable in America. You don't see the country you live in that gives you these creature comforts. This is Babylon the Great, the whore that sitteth on many, where she control everything. She's going to manipulate Argentina to try to control them to come out of Brics. Why? Because if they can break up South America from unifying, right? Officer Matt just pointed out, you got Brazil, Argentina, if and when they come in, right? You've got Bolivia. Then you've also got Venezuela. Once those 4 get in, you don't think Suriname is going to come? You don't think that Colombia's? Are you kidding me?
Hey, because Cap, Suriname is controlled by India.
Right, you went there.
Suriname is controlled by India. Their president of Suriname is East Indian. And if India is already in Brics,
that's right,
you better believe he's not going against his people. He ain't going against his people.
Hey, to that point, could y'all pull up that Brics map again? See Central America? You see that little gold country? If you click to the world map, you'll see that country is Nicaragua. If you can see that, that's Nicaragua. You know what's going on in Nicaragua, or what's happening? Sanctions, embargoes, and they're trying to join Brics too.
Hey, watch this. I'm gonna show you something. Go back to that Brics map. Then we're gonna go back to the video Cap had. Go right above Egypt and zoom in. Right above Egypt and zoom in. Right above it.
Is that Israel?
That is Palestine, Capo.
Oh, Palestine.
That's Palestine. Palestine has applied.
Right. hey, you know why that's heavy? And that's a good eye. Let me tell you why that's heavy. Because remember, Palestine was getting international press because they were trying to show the hypocrisy that Israel, and they were and then they had African students were going in. They would come, bring them in and pay them to make it seem, oh, we're nice. When they were really what's the word? Oppressing the devil to the Pakistani. And Pakistanis are Arabs. Their brothers, Iran, Saudi Arabia, then it will be Kuwait and the United Arab Emirates. All of them now Pakistan. Why is that so important? Because now that alliance with, if they have a fund and they have the war of attrition, now Iran and Iraq, they have Pakistan, right? They could send planes, they can send military, they can do whatever they want, okay? Okay, I'm cramming now. Go back real quick. This is, yes, okay.
Argentina may withdraw prior to its membership officially going into effect. Here's what happened. The country's two leading presidential candidates...
Pause. This is how the U.S. do stuff. So the two leading presidential candidates, what does that mean? They're not the president. They're presidential candidates, right? If you're a candidate, you're eligible to run for president, right? So that means the people in power, they're the ones that wanted Argentina to be a part of BRICS. His term must be up in order for someone to run for that office. Both candidates who are running for that office, they're both being touched by the U.S. because now they're like, nope. If we get in the office, we're going to withdraw our official invitation. That is the U.S. long hand. You got to see what it is, y'all. You got to see what it is. Play on. And the thing is, you need to hear from a CPA. Okay? She's going to tell us things that CNN and the other stupid, and they're not going to tell us. Okay?
Milei and Patricia Bullrich announced their strong opposition to Argentina's entry into BRICS. They even went as far as to say that if elected, they would immediately withdraw an already accepted
They're only candidates. They're not the president. They have not. If they're not elected, I'm telling you, the Most High is going to create this war of attrition, like Officer Micah said. They're going to control South America. They're going to control Asia. And the second half of the show, when we come back from Kingdom Music, we're going to show you how Ethiopia and Egypt are just the beginning. There's another couple of countries. Matter of fact, real quick, before we go to break, we're going to come back to this after break, but I want you to go to I think it's number 1. You on point, Gabe. Number 1. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, didn't we play that? No, number 1. Yes, go number 1. And then we're going to go to break and Bible verses and all that. We're jamming a couple of I really want to try to cram this in if we can. %60 of our tech team is fat. What do you expect, you know? Seriously. He's fat, skinny.
Could join BRICS in the future. First is Indonesia, which is a prime target for
the second half of the show. We're going to talk about a strait called the Strait of Malacca. It is and Singapore is become incredibly rich off that. Indonesia is another country that is going to join BRICS, okay? Remember Indonesia. We're going to come back to that. Play on.
Trade alliance, as it possesses 4 extremely important straits that a large percentage of world trade passes through. Second is Nigeria, which is a rapidly growing country and by 2050 is projected to be a top 15 country in terms of GDP. And number 3 is Algeria, which is a large exporter.
Pause real quick, and we can go to break. Remember. We have Egypt, the Suez Canal, and Ethiopia, right? Those populations are huge sections of the African continent. You already have South Africa in. Then go back and what were the two? I already forgot the names. Nigeria and Algeria. Now, Algeria is on the north coast of Africa, close to Egypt.
Heavily controlled by Ishmael.
Thank you. Palestine, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Iran. Play the video again real quick. I already forgot. I want to see the map.
Countries could join BRICS in the future. First is Indonesia, which is a prime target for the BRICS trade alliance.
This may be the most important country because it's a series of islands that controls one of the most important shipping lanes in the entire planet. Why? Because China exports more than any other country, hands down. You want the proof? Go to your house, look at your shirts, look at your furniture, look at the little trinkets you got. Most of it says made in China. And we're so ignorant in the United, we didn't even know about the Strait of Malacca. You don't even know what the hell that is. It's probably more important than the Panama Canal. We're very limited when we listen to Western media, okay? Play on.
4 extremely important straits that a large percentage of world trade passes through. Second is Nigeria, which is a rapidly growing country.
Nigeria has a huge population. Hundreds of millions of people live in Nigeria. It is they said it's going to be a top 15 GDP nation. It is up and coming. So now remember, you got Ethiopia, you've got Egypt, you have South Africa, Nigeria, and then the other one, play on,
is projected to be a top 15 country in terms of GDP. And number 3 is Algeria, which is
look at the size of Algeria. Algeria, it borders, it's right below friggin' the Iberian Peninsula, Spain and Portugal. It's right there. Look at the size of Algeria. It borders the Mediterranean Sea. Now, why is that important? If Algeria comes aboard along with Nigeria, then you have 5 major economies in Africa. What is that going to do? It is going to give hope and inspiration for other African countries, okay, to come aboard on BRICS. And now if you control South America, you control Africa, you control most of Asia, what did you do? What's that game you talk about all the time?
Go.
You've completely isolated North America. And that's what it's going to have to take. And to the point where, guess what? Guess what we've not included? Europe. We did many shows how the people of Europe are like, NATO gotta go. And their own thousands, hundreds of thousands in the streets protesting for their presidents of their countries in France and Italy. Why are we loyal to NATO, which is run by the U.S., you cut off the Nord Stream pipeline and the price of our oil goes through the roof and we can't afford to heat our homes? The people in Europe don't agree. And all of that's going to, I'm telling you, it's coming. Play on. Okay. I'm talking fast tonight, y'all. I'm going to slow down. All praise to the Most High. This is fresh off the press. We're going to shoot right over to Officer Mikael and the Bible verses. Stay with us. Thank you. And by the way, if you have ideas, please, constructive criticism, let us know. We want to improve. All praise to the Most High. Now we go on to Officer Mikael and his very own creation, the Bible verses.
Israel, Most High Christ blessed. It's your brother Officer Mikael, and this is the Bible verses. And tonight, the Bible's going to be versus whole culture. So let's play the first video. That was the first one. All right.
And I just want to let y'all know, be toxic for the rest of your 20s. You only get one life. Live your toxic 20s. You never get to be 20 years old, 21, 22, 23, 24, none of that ever again in your life. Be toxic, because don't get in your 30s thinking you could just go slashing tires and doing all this crazy shit. You too old for that now, and you too mature. Be toxic for the rest of your 20s. And if you delusional, turn this shit up a notch. Enjoy the rest of your 20s. You only get to do this shit one time.
This is who our young daughters look up to. She said to be toxic in your 20s, because once you make your 30s, you're too old for that. What the Bible say about that? Can we get 1 Timothy 5? Let's see what the younger women are supposed to do. Because he said, be toxic while you're young. Live your toxic 20s.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 14.
Uh-huh.
I will therefore that the younger women marry.
No, be toxic.
Younger women marry.
Uh-huh.
Bear children. Guide the house. Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully.
So it says for the younger woman to marry, guide the house, raise children, and not give opportunity for the adversary to speak reproachfully. You know they laughing at Glorilla, right? Y'all know they talk bad about her. And they talk bad about this other one too. Play the next video.
And there was an open condom on the bed.
In her house?
In her bed. And she just said, oh, yeah, my sister was in here before me. And I believed it.
Oh, she lying. That happened to me. One time, my friend was at my house, and she was in there with her nigga in the living room, and I told them, do not fuck on my couch. Her nigga knew my nigga, but my niggas couldn't come at the time because they was friends. You know how two friends be talking to
He could come
friends.
like on some like couldn't.
He probably was fucking off.
Couldn't get up.
No, he couldn't come over my house. And then it was a condom in my trash can. And he told on me and said that I was the one fucking, but it was not my condom. My nigga called me the next day and was like, you had a condom in your trash can and stuff. I'm like, that wasn't my condom. I don't use condoms, baby.
Right.
I'm the raw dog queen.
She say she the raw dog queen. She say she the raw dog queen. See, also, I think in that same interview, bragged about catching chlamydia, not once, but twice. Shout out to Captain Metathias. He said her new name is Clap 2 times. That's what we're going to call her, Clap 2 times. Let's see what the Bible calls her, though. Let's see what the Bible calls her. Give me Proverbs. Let me get it. Give me Proverbs 30 and verse 20.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 20.
Uh-huh.
Such is the way of an adulterous woman.
Uh-huh. The adulterous woman.
She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness.
It says she eats and wipeth her mouth and says she has done no wickedness. She glorifies the evil that she's doing, calling herself the raw dog queen. That's the role models. They let her go into the schools and perform her song Pound Town or Pound Spring Break or whatever the remix with her and Nicki Minaj. Like, come on. But you want to let the prophets of God into the schools to bring light to the children? So, one more video, because this one's just funny to me.
So right now you got Pound Town 1, Pound Town Spring Break, Pound Town featuring Nicki Minaj. How much pounding do you need?
Hey, that's a real question. That's a real question. That's a real question. Like, come on, really? Keep playing.
When you was in Miami, you was looking for the sugar daddies, right?
The hoochie daddies, not no sugar daddies.
Right. Where was your son?
Where the niggas that get ratchet? Where they at? My son need a new pappy.
Stop. Hey, transition. Come on. I want y'all to see me. Did y'all see the look on her face when he asked her, where was your son? You know, do y'all understand? She's an ostrich. She is an ostrich. Give me Proverbs 6 and 23. Because this is what we got to understand. This is, read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
Read.
To keep thee from the evil woman.
To do what?
To keep thee from the evil woman.
To keep you from these wretched whores with a W. The commandments were given to us to keep us from the wretched whores with a W. How many of y'all out there want to be the 144? Guess what? They're undefiled with women. They stayed away from these ratchet whores. But look, this has been the Bible verses. So look, y'all stay tuned after these commercial breaks, right? And we're going to get into some kingdom music where y'all get that righteous music instead of this foolishness that they promoting out here in the world.
Hit the streets to bring it out. They don't like that. No cap. We ain't lying. We ain't fly jet. I'm going line, crouching down. They don't like that. The trouble you to watch us do this. We gon' fight back. Yeah, your pastor know we lying. Talking about he know the scriptures like a butcher, so I keep a knife. Pull it out and cut him with his wartime and spiritual. Praying for my son and them. Praying for my aunties and my uncles and my cousins. Like we hit the streets.
Blessed IUIC New Orleans with another Cuts from the Streets. Today we was out asking the people,
is it more important to get a marriage license or a college degree?
For me, it will be a college degree.
Why?
Because as you see, I'm a single mother. I think that college degree is more important.
College degree?
College degree is much better than marriage license.
They up in their 30s, they got 5 kids, they're single. How can you say education is going to profit the kids when they're growing up without a father?
I'm going to ask you again, get the bag or to be married and have a father for the children, which one would you pick?
According to what? My opinion, or according to
Marriage me, please.
I see what it's doing. We're not.
Never got no Holy Ghost. And so, how you gonna teach somebody about that? The power of the Holy Ghost is what convicts people.
So I like what you said. So you wait a minute now. Can I stop eating pig? What you mean? What the book of Leviticus mean? That's the law. That's the law.
When we talk about pig and crawfish and catfish, these things are known to cause high blood pressure.
The Bible is saying this about the Israelites. He didn't say this about. Hold on, I want to hear you. No. I want to hear you. Hey, Bastard, you been throwing me. I used to play basketball. You been throwing me alley-oops all night, boy. I'm asking you. I want to hear you. Yeah. No. Read that. Proverbs chapter 7. I'm asking my commandments and live. What? Keep my commandments and live. But you.
Yo, we on a distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We on a distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes.
Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome to another edition of Kingdom Music. I know I've been off for a couple weeks because we've been going in on these topics, but we got a nice cold-blooded one for you from my brother Paul the Disciple. All right, roll that.
This fight that we're in right now is a spiritual fight. And things that happen in the spirit realm will eventually manifest in the physical world.
Sometimes I pinch myself like it's just really real. Woke up to be a prophet from an imbecile. Why would you look up to them players on the football field when the wisest man on earth live in Riverdale? So sad I was lost and confused. Now I'm found in the muse. How did thousands can gather trying to walk in the shoes of JC? All praises, you elevated me. Celebrate you on every Sabbath day and every feast. And I'm focused, please don't take your spirit from me. You ever seen how bugged out that could be? I won't boast, I'll just toast to our fullness and the reconciliation of the world. Thank God, no more assimilation. Christ bless you. Sometimes I get stressed too, bro. Don't let the world vex you. Christ bless you. Shalom to the brother I'm marching next to. Hope you producing all the best fruits. Christ bless you. To my sisters that escaped from the world, teaching the truth to the boys and the girls. Christ bless you. Most High in Christ bless you. Most High in Christ bless you. Yeah. Used to be blind, now I see it so clear. Observing the times, our salvation is near. I used to be blind, now I see it so clear. Observing the times, my salvation is near me. Used to be blind, now I see it so clear. Observing the times, our salvation is near. Yeah. Used to be blind, now I see it so clear. Yeah. Observing the times, my salvation is near me. And I know if I fall back on hard times, I know I got some brothers that's gonna hold me down. If you go back to sin, you're living on borrowed time. The devil always attack when your guard down. Protect yourself at all times.
Told y'all he wasn't ready. Told you.
I tried to tell you something, bro. You don't want to listen. You don't want to listen. You gotta learn things the hard way, huh?
Come on, right. Come on. Body shot. Come on, right. What's going on? Let's do it again. Come on, right. Come on. Body shot. What's going on? Man, you got the spirit lately, man. What's going on? I want to show you something. Take a look at that. You see that right there? That's going to be your toughest opponent that you're going to have to fight every day. You ready for that?
Yes, sir.
All right, then, man. Come on.
A right hook will take you out. Facebook, Instagram, one click, take a look, now you're hooked. I'm ready for anything, and with counsel in the spirit of Christ, I'm just losing my life because I'm living for you. Trying to do what you sent me to do. Gather the truth, lead them to the truth. I know what I gotta do. Just do it. Just do it. Even if you're going through it. Most High in Christ bless you. Sometimes I get stressed too. Bro, don't let the world vex you. Most High in Christ bless you. Shalom to the brother I'm marching next to. Hope you producing all the best fruits. Most High in Christ bless you. To my sisters that escaped from the world, teaching the truth to the boys and the girls. Most High in Christ bless you. Most High in Christ bless you. Most High in Christ bless you. Yeah. Used to be blind, now I see it so clear. Observing the times, our salvation is near. I used to be blind, now I see it so clear. Observing the times, my salvation is near me. Used to be blind, now I see it so clear. Observing the times, our salvation is near. Yeah. Used to be blind, now I see it so clear. Yeah. Observing the times, my salvation is near me.
Well, since I was just popped back on camera, all praise to the Most High. That's my brother Paul the Disciple from his album Letters of Paul. All right, go get that from originalroyalty.com. Righteous music coming straight at you. All right, that has been Kingdom Music. Lord's will, y'all liked it. Go subscribe to Original Royalty if you haven't already. All right, Shalom, Most High, Christ bless.
Yo, we go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance. Cross the water. Teach our people. This is a mission.
Hey, shalom, shalom. Welcome back to Precept Upon Precept. Hey, Bible verses, another great topic, another great video with Kingdom Music. I was in the background. I haven't heard that video. That was a really catchy song. It'll make you want to sing along and bob your head, man. We got the music, y'all. Let's go back to number 5, because number 5, I want to go about 4 minutes in, and then we're going to jump to 7 on up for the order. This is the CPA. She's talking about not 4, we want 5. All right.
Officially expressed interest in joining. So why were they rejected and only these 6 states chosen? In this video, I want to share with you the main reasons why the leaders of the Global South made this decision. Okay. Each one of these 6 countries is truly significant in their geographic regions.
So real quick, she's about to break down the significance of each of the country. Play on.
Historically, the 2 countries that were in favor of more of an aggressive expansion of the bloc were Russia and China. Brazil and India, on the other hand, didn't want to see rapid growth. Brics was officially formed in 2009.
Okay,
a year later.
A minute or so, because she's reviewing and we already went over this part. I want it when she starts talking about the 3 Arab nations, she starts talking about Argentina, she starts talking about the 2 African countries. Yeah, keep going. Okay, we went over this map. Good. Brics expansion. Yeah, okay. Right here. So rewind it just a little bit, please. I didn't timestamp this one because I thought that we had time to play the whole video, but
as their geographical location that drove the decision. Egypt's location is ideal because it allows access to the Suez Canal. The
so we
Suez
talked about
Canal,
that last week very briefly. Now the Suez Canal, man-made canal, Bishop Nathaniel's covered it many different times. That was not there 400 years ago, 300 years ago. That controls and opens up the Gulf of Suez all the way to the canal, which leads to the Mediterranean Sea, which that port, the Red Sea, connects all the way to the Indian Ocean. So Egypt, and also Egypt has major producers of other natural resources, and it has the Nile River as well, which you can ship cargo up and down the Nile River. Play on.
Has historically been such an important access point that being able to control it is a really big win. Ethiopia, on the other hand, is located in the Horn of Africa, as you can.
There's a key. This is the key to Ethiopia. I was saying to myself, why would Brics choose Ethiopia? Because at first, I thought it was on the Ethiopia. None of it is on the coast. So I said, wait a minute. Why would they choose Ethiopia? It is close geographically to the Red Sea. There's something very important about the continent of Africa that is housed in Ethiopia that I didn't know about. And it has to do with Algeria and Nigeria and everybody else. Play on.
Its inclusion made perfect sense primarily because it is a country with one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. Also, it hosts the headquarters of the African Union.
Oh, it's right there. And if you don't pay attention, she just says it so nonchalantly in her pretty, prissy white girl voice. This is the headquarters for the African Union of the whole continent. Again, back to your war of attrition. If I have South Africa is already in there, then we bring aboard, what just was invited? Oh, Ethiopia and Egypt. Now you've got the Suez Canal, you've got connection to the Mediterranean Sea. 2 other ones that are in the running to come on are Nigeria, which is the largest population, followed by Algeria, which is another link to the Mediterranean Sea. Those are 5 of the largest economies in Africa. And Ethiopia has what? This headquarters for everybody. These guys are playing war for keeps. Now, Can you rewind it just a little bit? And then we're going to jump on from here.
It is a country with one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. Also, it hosts the headquarters of the African Union. So this is, in a way, it might be perceived as a call to other African nations to follow suit and to become members of the...
And it's amazing because how is this... If you don't pay attention to outside media, you're never going to learn this. They're getting ready to economically shut the world down and challenge the U.S., and this is given no headway on the American media. We don't know about this stuff. We supposed to know they're playing the war of attrition to weaken the dollar, which is the next chess move by the U.S. is they already started it. Some airports you go to, you can't pay with cash. They're going to give you a digital credit score like they're doing in China right now. They're going to digitize money, y'all. That's how they're going to fight this national war of attrition. Pay attention. You live in it. We live in the last days. Play on the video again. Play on.
Block. Accepting Argentina was a no-brainer.
This is what Officer Mikhail went into last week. He went into this last week. See, a CPA is not a certified public accountant. She doesn't care about anything but the money, the bottom line. So she does research not with any, she just wants to know where the money's going to be at. So now she did her research in Argentina. So let's see, and Mikhail already pointed out, he showed us in the scriptures the last week, that it shows that they have resources. Same thing with Brazil. Play on.
Largest country in South America. The country has extremely rich natural resources. It produces lithium. As you can see here, lithium is a crucial component for green energy.
Lithium is huge for technology. The components in batteries and other electrical appliances for batteries and other tech. Go ahead.
Like them Teslas.
Yes. Tesla batteries are lithium batteries. Hey, Cap, you want to know what's the top news in America right now?
What's that?
Sources.
Hunter Biden got caught with a gun. Joe Biden's son. Hunter Biden got caught with a gun, and they got some more Joe Biden stuff, and people who possessed illegal drugs can't have firearms. Meanwhile, the entire planet Earth is gearing up to come against the whole United States of America.
You got to see this. Yeah, I bet you even black people in this country, we don't even know that the world headquarters for the continental headquarters for Africa is located in Ethiopia. We don't even know that. We have, this is why we do shows like this. Play on.
Component for green energy. On top of that, this is the biggest producer of natural gas in South America.
You heard that? This is I didn't know this. Argentina is the largest producer of now natural gas is separate than crude oil. Still very important. So now, if you control the Suez Canal, now the next thing we're going to get to is the Strait of Malacca. If you control these incredibly important waterways for shipping, now you can ship natural gas not only from Russia down to China, but now you have your natural gas in Argentina. Why do you think now all of a sudden, days later, Argentina, we don't want to, we're looking to not come on board in the fact that they were accepted. This is a major chess move. It's an economic warfare, and China and Russia are leading the way. Okay? Play on. We're almost done.
Argentina has a strong agricultural potential. It has a strong agricultural industry, with wheat being one of its main grains. And as we all understand, food security is one of the biggest concerns for countries, for developing countries around the world. This is so important for developing nations that it cannot be underestimated.
So real quick, so first she talked about the importance of Egypt. Now she's talking about Argentina. Egypt, then Ethiopia. Now she's talking about Argentina. Now she's going to shift over to the Arabian Peninsula to include the three oil producers, Iran, United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. Play on.
has the second largest economy in South America. Argentina is also one of the world's top developing nations and is a member of the G20 major economies. Now let's move on to the Middle East. Choosing Iran, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia as the new BRICS bloc members was driven by their oil-producing capabilities. Saudi Arabia produces the most oil.
It's war.
It's going right over. Jake worried about Glorilla and Cardi B right now. Meanwhile, beans, bullet, and band-aids. How you gonna get this stuff? These semis need this stuff to move products. Prime movers have to move. If you have no fuel, you cannot move. It's that simple. And these other BRICS, they understand that. Yep. They understand that very well.
You know, the Atlantic Ocean is controlled by the United States primarily, but the Pacific, other than maybe Guam and Hawaii, is wide open. So if Argentina joins BRICS, it'll be easy for them to get those grains to China. Because remember, China only has 7% of the world's water reserves.
Bam.
So
Bam.
the grains don't grow there in China readily.
Hey,
with that food supply.
Mikhail, you on point. Because remember, that's what one of the issues with the war right now between Russia and Ukraine is a huge producer of agricultural resource right now. Huge. It affects the commodities market. Pull up the doggone map of Argentina. There's a little sliver of a country called Chile. Chile is the coastal country. Again, the U.S. knows that I gotta break up the stronghold. Brazil, now Argentina. You don't think Chile, which is a sliver of Argentina, is gonna follow suit? There's your connection to the Pacific Ocean. Y'all gotta see that. This is gonna be along with the EU turning, is going to shut America down. And this is the beginning stages with only 11 countries. There we go. Look at the sliver. Okay, so look, I like it. Brazil, half the damn continent is literally on the Atlantic side. Okay, also Matt mentioned about Bolivia. Now, if Bolivia goes on board, they're in a nation. Yes, sir. Brazil. Now Argentina comes aboard. If you get Chile, now you can run a doggone straight pipeline, or you could run a railway, if there's not already one, directly across. Now you have the Atlantic Ocean, which is your Africa connection. You can shoot out of Brazil to get to the South Africa. And from Chile, which you know they're going to come on board, now you go, like Mikhail said, you go straight over. You can get to Indonesia, where it says, yes. Scroll. Can you go over more? If you go from Indonesia and go right, you're going to end up in Chile. In other words, if his little arrow goes through all the way, you're going to end up right there. So again,
hey, watch this, Cap.
Go ahead.
Zoom into Nicaragua.
Yes.
Zoom into Nicaragua.
Oh.
So 75% of South America is affiliated with BRICS. Nicaragua's right there. What is 2 countries away? Panama Canal. You don't think that they're gonna try to talk them into it? You thought they forgot about the laser beams and how the United States came in there experimenting with weapons, taking people's lives?
The name of our show is Precept Upon Precept. Mike usually reminds us, get me the book of Revelation. Because all of this is, we all going to filter it back to the Bible. Give me Revelation. Is it this, I want Isaiah. Is this the man? Isaiah 14, but I want Revelation chapter 18. Revelation chapter 18. Let me just came to me. Get Isaiah first while I look for this, if you would, please. Isaiah 14. This is very important. We're going to show you in the prophecies. Yes, please.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee.
Right now, the nations of the world do not narrowly look upon the United States or snakes of America. They look upon them with fear. Everybody want to speak English. Everybody want to go to the U.S. Everybody's trading a dollar. But now the dollar is starting to weaken. Read it again.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon
Who
thee.
is the they? The they is talking about the people that did business with her allies, because they're scared of her. Remember, there's an old saying, if you can't beat them, join them. That's what's going on with most of the world. They're scared of the big bully, the great Satan. Read on.
And consider thee, saying, is this the man?
Is this the superpower, Babylon the Great? Come on.
That made the earth to tremble?
Why? Because how did she first do that? When did the world power set the precedent? 1945. We just saw, go see Oppenheimer. Go see Oppenheimer. That changed the game. After that, you had the Cold War. The U.S., the arms race continued. And guess what? After that, the biggest single deal that changed the U.S. is the move from the gold standard onto the petrodollar and the Federal Reserve. And that was based upon the friggin' dropping of the A-bomb. And then ever since then, the U.S. has taken over even full force to the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy destroyers, and the U.S. Navy aircrafts. The United States Army have more, we covered it, more military bases, just one branch of the service, the U.S. Army, than all the other nations' militaries combined. I'm talking about international. We've covered that. Okay, this is, read on.
That did shake kingdoms?
He shook kingdoms. He went into India and shook them up. He went into China, the Box Rebellion. He did all these brown and black nations and destroyed them. Okay, read on.
Verse 7.
Go to Revelation 18, please. Yeah, give me 10. Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 10. Standing afar off from the fear of her torment.
I'm sorry. Give me verse 8, and then we're going to jump.
Verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day.
Get me verse 4, because there's a series of steps that's going to happen. Before the Most High is going to bring this kingdom down, guess what you don't see in the United Arab Emirates? Guess what you don't see in Argentina? Guess what you don't see in Ethiopia? You don't see pronouns. You don't see doggone filth and vile, disgusting acts of abominations. It starts here in this place. So the Most High is showing us through John in verse 4, there's a series of steps that's going to bring this. Isaiah saw the same thing. Read.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people.
And he's telling the 12 tribes, we are a lot of the brothers and sisters are going to come out of that lifestyle where they're using pronouns, where they're allowing their children to make up their mind. Listen, we don't hate our people that, listen, it's confusion. It's the land of confusion. We want our people to come out of eating pork, come out of the homosexual lifestyle, come out of stealing, robbing, killing, breaking the laws of God. Read on.
That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
That's the point. The plagues that are coming, Isaiah talked about, he said, as if a scroll rolled together. John talked about it in Revelation chapter 6. World War III is coming, and this is going to be the culminating buildup of that war. Read on.
And I heard verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven.
That's the point. It's going to get to the point where the Most High said, enough is a friggin' enough, and we're almost there. Look, I'm in my almost 50 years old. If you had told me when I was 16 that this would happen, I wouldn't believe you. Just like when my generation came through, there used to be a cartoon called The Jetsons. I used to watch in the early 80s. And Mr. Spacely had a watch that he was a TV. Me and my brother used to, yeah, right. Now they got it. iPhone watch hooked. He got one right now. We would have never known that would have happened. And with this great technology, it comes a great amount of sin. We are living in a time that's you're trying to tell me a friggin' 5-year-old can decide what gender they are? That's what they're talking about, right? Drag queens allowed to go into schools and push a doctrine, but the Israelites can't go teach our people the truth. The Lord is going to have enough is enough. Read.
And God hath remembered her iniquity.
And he remembered what he did to our people when he sent hunting dogs on us. In the plantations, he whipped our backs and destroyed our brothers, castrated our brothers, raped our sisters and our mothers. He has not forgotten all of that. We ain't forgotten either. Read on.
Reward her even as she rewarded you.
Right, and that's what's going to happen. And how is that going to happen? It got to be a changing of God. It got to be a world war. It got to be a nuclear friggin' cleansing. Read on.
And double unto her double according to her works.
Read on, watch this.
And the cup which she had filled to her double.
You heard that? The cup that she filled the cup. So now she got to drink from it. You spread slavery, genocide, colonialism, neocolonialism. You don't think you're going to drink from that? The white man has never paid for what they've done. And we're just showing you the buildup, the BRICS versus the West. And eventually it's going to include the EU. And the EU is going to turn on their brothers. Read on.
How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously.
That's why the white man said, who's going to bring me down? Obadiah said it. The pride of their heart hath deceived thee. John said, your sins have reached to heaven. Isaiah, it's the same thing. Is this the man? Read on. That did shake kingdoms. Read on.
So much torment and sorrow give her, for she said in her heart.
This is the point. Read that where you quote you at.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 7.
You remember this? Read on.
How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen.
Same damn thing that Obadiah said. She said, the great whore, Babylon the Great, she said in her heart. That's what this man says. Read on.
And am no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
You know what that means? That means you can't touch me. No matter what, you can't touch me, you can't track me. The Lord is tracking Esau. Read on.
Therefore shall her plagues come in one day.
It's going to happen when you least expect it. We're seeing the buildup. What could take this great military down? What could create? You got army bases in every continent. It's going to take a world collaborative effort called, like I said, the war of attrition, when all they're starting to pay. South America, Argentina comes aboard. Then guess what? Chile comes aboard. You got Bolivia. Then you got Nicaragua, which is in Central America. The five countries, you've got Ethiopia, you've got Egypt, you've got South Africa. Then if they bring Nigeria and Algeria on, in Ethiopia, the headquarters for all of Africa is there. The Lord is doing all of this because why? Babylon the Great sins are gone. They're reaching the heavens. And the Lord is doing things behind the scenes to do what? Start World War friggin' III. You got to see it. Read on.
Death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
And that's the point. That's the nuclear war. Oppenheimer started something that God put in his mind. In the movie Oppenheimer, there's a point when he's in the college dorm, and he starts seeing these formulas in his head. It's a good movie. I like the movie. A little bit dry, but he starts seeing these formulas. Guess what? The Most High allowed. Remember there's a scripture in, I can't remember, it says, he puts thoughts in men's head. And what happens is, that's what he did. And he allows Satan to choose who he wants to work with, to give him the formulas for rocket scientists to go out to get the missile formulas and all of that. All of that is to create a war. And this is heavy. Read on.
For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her.
So that's why we have to give all praises to the Most High. Because when this is what happens to us in America. Y'all at home. Slavery, Jim Crow, and self-hatred that we learned through this white race has made us actually see him as a power behind things that happen. The Lord is doing everything. The Lord is moving this man to make this move. Just like in Babylon, he moved the Babylonians. Just like in Persia, he used the East Indians to move. Just like in Egypt, he used another black race to raise up and do what he did. He's doing the same thing today. And he's like Officer Matt, he's got you thinking about Hunter stupid Biden, Donald Trump getting indicted. Okay, these dumb, stupid rappers and what they do, and they're showing you the Mikael did in his Bible verses, a woman talking about she's proud to have sexual intercourse without protection and pushing that on black girls. This country is the sins up here, man. There's no more morals and values. Okay, read on.
Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and
this is the point. The kings of the earth are who? All these countries before BRICS started to rise up, you had to roll with the U.S. or what? They'll put a sanction, an embargo, and cripple your economy. The Lord said, I got to level this out. Read it again.
And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication.
And here's the thing. Do you know why they became kings of the earth? Because they dabbled with they went with the policies of America. That's how they became. If you don't go with it, you're not no king of the earth. Cuba, if they had played along, would be a huge economy. Cuba they've been under sanctions for the last 50-something years. Look what happened in Cuba. They're driving around cars from the 1960s. Their economy is freaking crippled over there. Why? Because they don't commit fornication with America. They are rebellious in the eyesight. That's why they're not a king of the earth. Well, how the hell can Kuwait, smaller than Cuba, be the king of the earth and have all U.S. protection? How can Israel have all of that, our homeland? Because they're the kings of the earth. They've committed fornication with them. Now Esau's the devil, and the white man in Germany did all this. But the point is, America runs the show. And if you don't, and even these white countries that go against their big brother, they will put a sanction in them too. Read on.
And live deliciously with her, shall bewail her, and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
That goes back to what Isaiah said. Is this the man that did weakest many kingdoms? That's what you're seeing. So in the scriptures, this is what we're building up towards this. Okay. Now, go back to the video. I got 15 minutes. I'm going fast tonight.
Oil producing capabilities. Saudi Arabia produces the most oil. We've already mentioned Argentina with its vast natural gas resources. Now let's talk about Iran. Iran may have been chosen not just because of its location, but also because it has the biggest reserves of natural gas. And it's
Pause. A lot of people didn't know that. Not only is Iran and Saudi Arabia on the Arabs who have a lot of oil, Iran has a huge amount of natural gas, just like Argentina. So now, think about this. What was the biggest gripe of Europe when they blew the pipeline? How are we going to heat our homes? Because European is a northern. Now, maybe, remember what happened to France? France petitioned, can you let me in, Brics? That got shut down. There's going to come a point where Brics, and I'm going to make a prediction, is going to sway some of the European countries in time. There's another option. We can step away from NATO, step away from the G20. We roll with Brics. Watch. I could be wrong. Play on.
Only to Russia in that respect. Natural resources and agriculture create many trade opportunities for the bloc members.
In the interest of time, y'all, this is a good video. Now, I want to talk about, go back to number 1. I want to pull that map. It's a YouTube short. Then we're going to jump to the Strait of Malacca, and then we're going to go right to Larback Attack. We're going to go to one of the most important waterways that none of us have probably ever heard of. Probably as important as the Panama Canal on the eastern side of the world, if you will. Go to number 1 again, please. Thank you for your patience tonight.
Countries could join BRICS in the future. First is Indonesia, which is a prime target for the BRICS.
That is one so-called country that is comprised of many different barrier islands that separates the Indian Ocean to its west to the Pacific and the lanes of the South China Sea, which China is the largest exporter of goods on the planet Earth. And China is in BRICS, as we know. Play on.
As it possesses 4 extremely important straits that a large percentage of world trade passes through. Second is Nigeria, which is a rapidly growing...
Now, go to number 7. Or is it number 8? Let me see. You know what I want. Let me see. Yep, go there real quick. This is short. Now, so remember, that Indonesia is a shipping lane. In China, it's very important for China and for Russia as well. Look what China has been doing for the last 15 years. What have they been doing? Something that the colonizers should have been doing. They've been stealing all the resources from Africa. China has been seeing this since the beginning of BRICS started 15 years ago. How ironic. Play on.
These guys. Did you know it took the Chinese 72 dynasties to build the Great Wall of China? 72 dynasties over 5,000 years. Just to be clear, the Chinese understand long term. That's why when they started.
Now that's debatable, but the point is it took them a very, very long time to build the Great Wall of China, which you can see from space, which the 12 tribes of Israel helped to build a lot of that wall. And our bones are buried underneath that wall. Now, so he starts off by talking about the vision of China. That's a long, long term. He makes it a point of emphasis. Now he goes on to make his point. Play on.
Investing in ports in much of East Africa 15 years ago. Everybody thought they were crazy. They knew exactly what they were doing. Now, you can't land goods in East Africa without the Chinese having something to do with it. You know the biggest sea nation fighting Somali pirates is the Chinese Navy. How many of you here are using a phone or a piece of technology by the Chinese? So this is my whole thing about think long term.
So pause. So why did we preface that? Because we're going to the next straight that we're going to get into. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have part 3. So Mikhail, you got already your thumbnail. We're going to continue on next week with a part 3. We're going to go more into the Argentina update. Also, we're going to get into this strait. I'm just going to say the name of it. Strait of Malacca. If you just pull up real quick on the map. I just want to show this because this is going to be very important. No, just play number 8 and then we'll close the larback attack. We're going to continue with part 3 next week, or just a continuation of Brics versus the West. There is, I probably rushed it tonight. Check this out, number 8. All right, so real quick, give me the book of Job 9:24. Whenever we get a doubt that the Bible is not a real book, all we got to do is read Job 9:24. Watch this. This is an oldie but goodie.
The book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth
No, the country. I'm for effect. I'm come on, I'm challenging you.
The earth is given.
No, one continent.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
You see that? It's not South Africa. It's not doggone Africa. It's not Australia. It's not. The whole doggone earth is the so-called white man's. Everything. That's why it's going to take the whole earth to come together to take his ass down. Think about that. You have an inverse. You have a yin and yang, blah, blah, blah. You have the opposite, polar opposites. The white man has the whole earth. It's going to take a collective effort of the whole earth to take this devil down. And that's what we're seeing. And that's why Officer Matt made a great point. He hypnotizes you with irrelevant, irrational news that just is, oh gosh. And you're not paying attention to what's going on everywhere else. Play on, read on.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
And that's exactly what he does. The 12 tribes of Israel, we don't know that we're Job. We don't know that we're Moses. We don't know we're Jesus. We was at camp the other day, and a little black kid came up. I said, who's Jesus? And I said, be honest. Look up here. He said, that one. So today in 2023, black children in inner cities are still calling the white man Jesus. And it's because what he's been taught. Indirectly or directly, he's been taught that. Now, we got number 8 ready? After this, we're gonna close out, all right?
Or richer than Germany, the UK, and even the United States.
Hold up.
Not too long ago.
Start again, because this is heavy. None of us have heard about it. Singapore. I heard about it back in the time of Vietnam. It was poor as hell. Singapore is a very, 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 very small island that is bordering a strait called the Strait of Malacca. The Strait of Malacca is extremely important. We're going to get to it next week. Listen to the beginning. Listen to the wealth of Singapore based upon its geographic location. Play.
Singapore richer than Germany, the UK, and even the United States. Not too long ago, Singapore was one of the poorest countries in the world. but today it has a GDP per capita of $72,000, making it one of the wealthiest nations on the planet. So, what exactly did they do? Singapore is strategically located right at the gateway of the Malacca Strait. With the rise of...
So that's where we're going to end tonight. It is the gateway of the Malacca Strait. The Malacca Strait is it is a key point of interest for both China and Russia, and of course India as well. And then if you control the western coast of South America, if you control the east and west coast of Africa, you can move product and goods across land and through sea. That's what it's going to take. So look, all praise to the Most High. Next week, we're going to carry on with the Strait of Malacca. We're going to get into it. We're going to go into the updates that are happening. It's happening real time as we go. January 2024 is right around the corner. You're seeing things happen. What's going to happen with Argentina? What's going to happen with the other countries that are waiting in the cut to get on board? Stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe. Share this video. Okay? People need to know about it. What's going on in the world? With that, Lord Back Attack coming up next. Shalom. Hey, shalom. If you stayed with us this far, we appreciate you. It's almost 12:30 in New York, and it's a late show, all right? All praise to the Most High. A lot of times in His truth, we make jokes and we fat shame, but at the end of the day, fat shaming is supposed to get you to realize that you have to change your health. Did we in the Holy Bible, the 12 tribes of Israel history, did we inquire and talk about each other's health? Yes, we did. First, 2 Samuel chapter 20, verse 1, please.
2 Samuel chapter 20 and verse 1. And there happened to be there a man of Belial, whose name was Sheba, the son of Bechari, a Benjamite.
A what?
A Benjamite.
He was an Israelite. Read on.
And he blew a trumpet and said, we have no part in David.
Now we know this is the part where he's a Benjamite. He said no part in David. I understand all that. Some people don't like this history. I get it. We make jokes. Read on.
Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse, every man to his tent, O Israel.
The point is, it's talking about the Israelites. Now jump to verse 9.
Verse 9. And Joab said to Amasa.
So you got to imagine two brothers, right? Joab is walking up to Amasa, and they're going to have a conversation. And this is what we're supposed to be having in Israel. Conversations about what he's about to ask him. Read on.
Art thou in health?
He said, hey, how's your health, brother? So these are Israelites, because we know verse 1. Read it again.
And Joab said to Amasa, art thou in health, my brother?
You got to see. We still have white man Jesus in our mind. Let's go back to. We're gonna make it easy. Imagine Tupac with a big beard and whatever. Who died? DMX. Two brothers, real brothers, right? Beards on their face. Picture them. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, how's your health, man? We did that in Israel. So we can talk about obesity, being morbidly obese, because our forefathers, and let me ask you a question. You think this conversation stopped there? We get small parts of the Bible. If some of our forefathers look sick or pale, what's going on with you? You sick? What happened to you? Or if our brothers got fat, you don't think other Israelites used to check each other in the scriptures? There's other things that we have to infer. If he asked him how was his health, if he was in bad health, you don't think he would be asking him other questions? We got to wake up. And it's in the New Testament too. Read it again.
And Joab said to Amasa, art thou in health, my brother? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with the right hand to kiss him.
So, and he didn't kiss him in his lips. That's a form of great respect, right? So the care that he had to greet him like that, you don't think that he asked follow-up questions about his health? Hey, first thing he asked him, He didn't greet him first. The first thing he asked him, how's your health, brother? Then he greeted him. Because we were always concerned about our health. Only in this last captivity, Babylon the Great, with processed food, high carbohydrates, and other crap, you lard asses have become disgusting. And it's making me sick. And you could do something about it. And we had a bunch of brothers, 365 pounds, lost 125 pounds, had diabetes too, reverse diabetes too. Said in front of everybody, man. So what the hell's going on with you? God, brother just started. Shout out, brother in D.C., 5'10", 346 pounds. 6 weeks, he's down to 296. It works. We got to start with, how's your health, brother? What's your blood pressure? Really? You got that? Tell me how you eat. And that's what we have to do. We can fix morbid obesity, and overweightness. It takes, and guess that this is the thing. For 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, some of you, we'll talk to you about your health, and it goes in one ear and out the other. Again, when you could have done something about it and you don't do something about it, you have to live with that. 5 years ago, I could have, and you could, by the way, most of you can fix it in 6 months or less. It's your fault when you don't fix it. And brothers in New York didn't listen. Brothers right here in New Orleans don't listen. And guess what? And then when you're crying because you didn't do what you need to do to help your husband or help your wife, and something happened, guess what? It's your fault. You're the leader of the house, right? Because you're too weak. And I'm talking to all of you out there that fits the shoe. You better put it on. And it might be a fat-ass shoe. You better put it on. Okay? Read verse 2 again. I'm not holding nothing back. Half the tech team is a bunch of lard asses. Asa, Gabe, and Akim, he's doing something about it, though. Anyways, verse 20, verse 9 again. Sorry.
2 Samuel chapter 20, verse 9. And Joab said to Amasa.
So I got to make it fun. So imagine Amasa gained a bunch of weight, right? So Joab is speaking to Amasa. Read on.
Art thou in health, my brother?
Yo, Amasa, man, you look kind of fat, brother. What's wrong? Are you in health? Read on.
And Joab took Amasa.
Now he's climbing. Man, you a lard ass. Come here, give me a hug, brother. Right? I'm telling you, our forefathers they had a sense of humor, and our forefathers cared about each other. They did not want to see us in bad health. I'm telling you. Now, we're gonna go to some funny videos in a second. I want my heavy hit. I want Sirach 30, verse 25. Now we're gonna go to the wisdom of Sirach, where he teaches us through God's word. It was inspired by God. Yes, Apocrypha, you non-canon, simple-ass Negroes. It is in the Bible. Otherwise, why would Maccabees, why did they take it out? Well, Daniel prophesied about the Greeks. Christ says it was the Feast of Dedication, it was winter. So that proves by default the Apocrypha is canon, you dumbass. Okay? I mean, yes. It's in the Bible, yes. Read.
Sirach chapter 30, verse 25.
Come on.
A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat.
You got to be cheerful. You ask about somebody's health. Yo, what's going on, bro? Yo, you know you're morbidly obese. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, bro? What, you depressed? Babylon got you depressed? You better fix it, bro. Come here. Give me a hug, brother. Read on.
A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
So if you became a disgusting, fat-back, blubber-gutted lard whale, you don't care about your diet. And that means by default, you're not cheerful. Takes you 16 minutes to get out of bed. You got all type of ailments. You breathe. You can't walk up 3 flights of stairs without sweating and stopping for 3 breaks. I've seen it. Lardbacks can't make a half a mile of march. You are, by default, not cheerful. You're on 3 different types of medication, and then you blame it on, it's your fault. You can fix it. There's a million scriptures that teach you about that. Well, not a million, but a lot of them. Read on. Now, give me 31, verse 16. I got 2 great videos.
Sirach chapter 31, verse 16.
Come on.
Eat as it becometh a man.
I'm going to, just like Halloween's coming up and they remind you every year, I'm going to keep reminding you every time, chance I get. Read it again.
Eat as it becometh a man.
And guess what? You want to fix these portly, plump princesses. It has to start with the men. You men have to set it in order. You want to fix your wives and your little plump daughters? You have to fix yourself first. We as men got to fix us, then we can fix them. And I'm just talking about health. This section is the lard back attack. That's what it's about. Read on.
Eat as it becometh a man. Those things which are set before thee.
Let's use a series of process elimination. Read it again.
Eat as it becometh a man.
If you are a man and you have to eat as it becomes a man. Read on.
Those things
Those
which
what?
are those things.
That's the food. Read on.
Which are set before thee.
Which are set before thee. There's usually three general options. Number one, either you're cooking for yourself, or you may be cooking for your family, or you're ordering at a restaurant, or, lard back, your wife's cooking for you. So how does a man fix it? I'm a fat, disgusting lard ass. I'm obese, so I'm going to fix it. I'm going to soldier up and I'm going to do the research. Okay, we're here to help. Guess what, you fat back lard asses, if you want to join the fat back chat, guess what you got to do? Get a letter from your doctor. Just had a lard whale, just give me a letter from his doctor. So I talked to him about 7 minutes. A lot of cuss outs. I said, I'm about to cuss you off for about 10 minutes. You can hang up now. No, I want to hear it. So I said, after you get in this program, if you fail, you can go blame your white doctor. Literally, she wrote a letter saying, I give my permission to eat healthy keto. Great. Now you can blame them. You're not blaming me. But anyways, those who make it through the program, they lose the weight and they stay off becoming a disgusting fat back lard whale, okay? Or blubber bear, whatever colorful adjectives and nouns you appreciate. I like blubber fat backed lard whale. That's a nice combo. Read on.
Eat as it becometh a man.
Right.
Those things which are set before thee, and devour not.
Right, because you became 325 pounds because you ate like a wolf. You devour everything around you. And yes, a lot of it is the foods that they give us are not healthy. We understand that. But there's a thing called eat as it becometh a man, meaning I now cannot order this from the restaurant. I now must tell my wife, this is what I want in my house. I want a lot of things on my plate that grow from the ground. I have eggs and certain healthy versions of meats. I don't want the refined carbohydrates. I don't want the sugars. And I'm going to eat 2 or 1 time a day. If you do that, you will fix your health. And then when you do that, your wife's going to say, damn, my husband is serious. And listen, woman, you see me doing it? I'm not a hypocrite. You do it now. And then the kids, and then you fix the household. Then one family inspires another. Next thing you know, a year and a half, everybody's in good health. It's just that simple. But we are rebellious people. The proof of it is 5 years, you ain't done nothing about it. 7 years, you ain't done nothing about it. Read on.
Lest thou be hated. Leave off first for manners' sake.
So leave off first for manners' sake. Read. Your mother, a lot of our mothers taught us, don't eat everything on your damn plate. Read on.
And be not unsatiable, lest thou offend.
Right, and that's why when you get depressed, you go and get a half a pint of Ben & Jerry's and the nice little 59-cent Walmart pies. Now they're up to 75 cents. And now you ate 1,000 calories, and that was your snack. Okay? That's one snack. And that's why you became 150 pounds overweight. And there's a lot of you that are like that. You can change it. Read on.
When thou sittest among many, reach not thine hand out first of all.
Last scripture, please, before our videos. Get the 2 videos queued, please, Gabe. I'd like to have very little sufficient. Last scripture.
Verse 19.
Yes, I'm the thorn in your fat side. Yes, I'm not going to change. Because at the end of the day, it takes accountability. It takes the men stepping up and deciding, I got to cut these sugars out. I can't eat 6 times a day. Think about the American system. Breakfast, these are the words that they created. Breakfast, brunch, lunch, snack between lunch and dinner. After dinner, then you got dessert. There's typically 5 times a day that the average American eats, at least 3 times. Here's the deal. You can get all the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients in one meal, you disgusting fatback lard wheels. In a lot of places on earth, they eat 1 time a day, maybe twice. Okay? Lard asses need to eat 1 time a day. Get permission from your doctor first. Healthy keto. Here's an example of a healthy keto meal. Bunch of Brussels sprouts, maybe some cauliflower, 6 or 7 hard-boiled eggs, or grass-fed beef, or wild-caught fish, halibut, cod, salmon. and then maybe some low sugar fruit. That is all you need to eat the rest of the day, lard ass. Go research it. Read on.
A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
Now get mad at God. Read it again.
A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
That ain't talking about eating a half a slice of carrot for the whole day. That's talking about what I was just talking about. That's talking about you can have one meal, maybe 2 meals that are healthy. The Lord made his medicines, Sirach 38:4. The Lord made his medicines from the ground. He that is wise will not abhor them. I don't care if you're getting bored. You want to know why? Because this is meant for some of you out there on the airways. I don't give a damn. Read it again.
A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
1 meal a day, 2 at the most. The Lord made his medicines. Most of the food you eat should be from the ground. And guess what? Have the wild caught fish. They were swimming in the ocean, not raised in a farm, being fed soy feed. Wild caught halibut, wild caught tuna, wild caught sardines are very good for you. Okay? They have fins and scales, a little teeny little fish, right? Okay? Read on.
And he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed.
It's going to help you with IBB, all these other things that are wrong with us. It's going to help fix you. Read on.
Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating.
So now, why would he say very little sufficient and moderate? That means that when you eat seldomly, right, you need to eat moderately. You don't need to have a huge 4,000 calories in one meal, okay? You can eat a moderate amount of food that is healthy, okay, and you're going to lose the weight. Then when you lose all the weight, you can eat a little bit more because you keep your maintenance calories. Read on.
He riseth early, and his wits are with him.
You got quick wits. You get up. It doesn't take you a long time to get out. You're not lethargic anymore. Read on.
But the pain of watching and cholera.
These are stomach issues. Read on.
And pangs of the belly.
Right, all of that. You got all problems with your diet. Your digestive system can't even get a break. Here you ingested calories 5 to 7 times in the day. Your digestive system uses the most, works the hardest, if you research it. Wouldn't you want to give it a break? Try 1 meal a day. Try it. Read on.
Are with an insatiable man.
Right, because you can't stop eating. You're insatiable. That's why you gained 150 pounds of fat, blubber, and lard. On that note, we're going to explore the world of the lard bag. So the serious side is over. Now I get my favorite part of the day. We're going to close out. We got 2 videos. First, give me the karate guy. No, save that wonderful gem for a minute. Save that. Sorry, we didn't mean to put that up. Okay, now, let me just say this. We don't discriminate. Damn it, we know talent when we see it. We have a lard back karate guy. I'm going to tell you something. No one says the lard back does not have flexibility because he's on the border of being morbidly obese. He's only about 89 pounds overweight, maybe close to 90. However, lard backs are not without skill. Here's the deal. Do you want to look like this, lard? Some of you in formation look just like that. Great job, fat lard ass. Play. Pause. I want to point one thing out. If he didn't have that big, giant, fat back, well-gutted blubber pouch, his forward trajectory would have not. You see how it twisted his whole axis? Play it again. Again, blubber of that magnitude throws off geometric formulas of forward, not a back handspring, a front handspring. He literally was thrown to one side. Play it. Look, he's not hitting the landing. The blubber is pulling him to one side. Because of true front handspring, both hands should be off the ground. He had to stabilize with his right hand. Again, from the fact of his lard front, excuse me. That was the reality is this. How do you take a guy like that serious? I mean, he probably could kick a lot of people's ass, right? But how do you take that guy serious? He's supposed to be the epitome of discipline. He probably was a super master. And the other masters, he started eating too much rice pudding, and they kicked his ass out the dojo. You too fat, get out of here. And he became the fat karate master. Now, again, he's not without talent. Now, we're going to close the show with a special Jamaican. Let's just load it up. Do not spoil it. Now, I will say this. There's a world record here. And I'm not talking about the rope swing. If you look at the circumference of this lovely sister's arms, okay, it is, let's pause, wait. Like I am supposed to feel guilty about talking about this sister right here? Okay. Well, y'all can feel guilty. I'm not going to feel guilty. Again, what I am amazed is the fact that bridge is probably 120 years old. Those guys had some great bricklaying skills because that bridge, okay, with all the lard, the one with the pink hair is definitely morbidly obese. Now, the one on the rope who is got a Negro hanging from her. Now, I don't know maybe he's trying to stop her. Let's go deep into the mind of this brother. If that's his girlfriend, man, he liked like Bishop would say, he liked the mumpy, right? Now, again, her arm is the size, if you look, let's just take a look at it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's the size of his entire upper torso. If you were to take that horizontal arm, flip it vertically, it would cover the vast majority of that man's whole body, right? That's a fact. She's got a yellow bikini. And the fact, all she sees is a orange life preserver, right? The problem is they're only rated for about $1.90. So she needs 3 of them on, okay? Now, without further ado, I know it's frustrating. Wait, pause. Here's the thing. Do you think they're all cheering because they think she's a swell gal? I think they're cheering because I think that the Jamaicans have a bet. You think the rope will break, man? I think they got bets and stuff going on. Because if she came back, the other thing is this. If they don't let go of the rope, that could break or dent the side of the bridge, you know? Play. Play it again. Pause. So now, here's the thing. This may be the strongest man in the world. I may be wrong. I don't think he's picking her. Did she just jump up a little and he's holding her? He picked her. This brother may be a super weightlifting champion in Jamaica that no one's discovered. And he's not even a big guy. Because this is some power. Okay? And look at the black women. One with yellow hair and one with pink hair. And they're all cheering on. I think maybe they're cheering the brother because he's just doing the feat that is remarkable. Okay. A lot of you at home are starting to feel guilty. You know, he's going a little bit too far. No, I'm not going too far. You know who went too far? The Lord back holding. She went too far, and her fathers and her uncles never corrected her ass. Someone never could put the food down, little Betsy. You're 100 pounds of weight, Betsy. Your arm is the size of a friggin' plate, Betsy. Put the damn food down. I feel depressed. No one gives a damn how the hell you feel. You're morbidly obese. Fix it, lard ass. Play the video.
Lift him up.
I'd like to make one observation that maybe some of you did not think about. The engineering of rope design is amazing because there are weight capacities on rope. And I'd like to give a round of applause to the man that made that rope. All right, it's late. I don't care. I'm going to get a bunch of comments in the back. I don't care. Listen, the bottom line is this. Yes, I like to make fun of fat people. Why? Because it makes me feel better about myself that I made the right decisions in my life not to look like that when I very well could have. All the things I could have been depressed and ate like that too. I got a lot to be depressed about, a whole lot. But you know what? Health and a good state of body. A cheerful man has a care for his meat and diet. All of you at home, there's a epidemic of obesity rates both in the black community and a subsection of the black community is in IUIC. In IUIC, and we're one of the better, we have a problem with obesity. We have a problem with morbid obesity, and it's with the men, and it's got to start with the men first. And then we can help to fix our women. We have to take it seriously. It's a medical disorder, just like any other medical disorder. If you have chlamydia, it's a medical sexual it's a disorder. You got to treat it. Obesity it's not being treated as a medical disorder. You got to fix it. If you don't fix it, it's going to be too late when you start getting these diseases and get put into medication. So I'm going to keep saying the same thing over and over again. And my vision, my prayer and hope is that just like we read in 2 Samuel, that we can fix our health by asking about our health, motivating each other. Yes, I'm extreme. Yes, I'm outlandish. Yes, I'm trying to shake you up. Yes, I'm being a little bit rude at times. But at the end of the day, you brothers and sisters who know me, behind all this, I go behind the scenes and I build you up too. I call you up, what's going on, bro? And we have support groups for you. I'm just trying to shake y'all up so you can be the leader you need to be to work on your own health. And so with that, I'm Captain Shum. That's the Lord Back Attack. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Hey, look, if y'all want to continue to see shows like this, y'all can give alms online via PayPal to IUIC.NewOrleans@IsraelUnite.org. Hey, make sure y'all giving alms at y'all local school. Y'all can drop it in the envelope in the alms box, or you can give online via PayPal at your local school's address. Also, make sure y'all are giving alms to the Booster Club. You can do so at IUIC.fundraising@IsraelUnite.org. And if you want to join the Booster Club, you can send an email to that same email address to be a part of that Booster Club. Hey, make sure y'all donating to the land fund. Make sure you're donating to the land fund. We're trying to get our own land so we can have Passover to ourselves. So donate via PayPal at Israel. The email address is Israel@IsraelUnite.org. Make sure you label it land.
Hey, all praise to the Most High. And to add to that, you heard what the bishop said. We show what we do with the money. We talked about getting a school. We got a school in headquarters. And we're continuing to do the thing. So when you give to the land fund faithfully, you're going to see the manifestation of what is being talked about. We're going to get this land. And we're going to be able to eventually keep Passover and not being told to be quiet, not being told you got to be out by this time. There's a race to get everything cleaned up and get out by a certain time. We could have continued to enjoy ourselves. And guess what? If we have land, we could also do tabernacles there as well. We could do many different events there. So also, housekeeping. We need all of you. We met our 20,000 goal. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. We need all of you. Please reach out and share our videos. Like, subscribe, and also in the comments, put some comments related to some of the keywords that you see in the content, because what it'll do, there's an algorithm that tracks and can help bring traffic, believe it or not, to our site. So help us to grow. And lastly, any ideas for the show? Shout out to all the tech team. We've come a long way to sitting at a table to now we have different segments, and we're still improving. I understand that. We all got things that we do wrong. I'm the worst critic. I know we want your critique. Okay? If I got somebody said, I don't let the guys talk enough. Well, great. Okay, I need to work on that. What else can we do? Let us know. We want to be the best show. And share the doggone rebroad. Most of you are asleep. Share this tomorrow morning, whatever. All right, so we're your hosts. I'm Captain Shim.
Officer Matthew.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Micah.
Hey, Israel, with that we say shalom.
Shalom.
I see. Look, I see mansions in the kingdom. I see hunters slaying demons. I see fire on this earth coming down like Hiroshima. I see prophets rising up, prophesying scriptures good. I see Christ, he coming back, and he black, he look like us. I see it, I see it, I see it.